There's a fine line between right and wrong. And somewhere in the shadows, they send us in to find them.
What is up, and welcome back. It's Scovos bringing you another Call of Duty Modern Warfare video today. And in today's video, we're going to be going over my absolute favorite class setup for the MP5 in Search and Destroy. So the very first thing we're going to touch base on is what field upgrade to use. And there's a lot of choices here, but I feel like the first and most obvious choice, and really the only one you should be using in Search and Destroy, is going to be Dead Silence. And the reason behind this is because it makes you extremely quiet, it has a recharge rate of fast, and not a lot of people seem to realize this, but gun, melee, and throwing knife kills also refresh their duration, allowing you to be in dead silence for longer periods of time. Now, when do you use dead silence? Dead silence is perfect to pop right before you get in a battle, right before sneaking behind enemy lines, before planting or defusing the bomb, especially if you're rush planting or ninja defusing. It is a perfect tool for just about any sticky situation. It's also great for escaping those sticky situations. If most of your teammates are down and not a lot of the enemy teammates have died, then you can pop this, escape, and then re-engage when you feel ready. And the next thing we're going to go over is the Killstreak selections. So my personal favorite is going to be the 4 Killstreak UAV, 5 Killstreak cruise missile, and 8 Killstreak VTOL jet. Now, some other choices here is going to be personal radar, but the reason I'm pointing this one out specifically is because not a lot of people realize this either, but using personal radar does give away your position. So the personal radar will fly around your approximate location, and if you're behind enemy lines, especially on Search and Destroy, or if you're last alive and you use this, the entire team, if they're paying attention, or if they're smart enough, will realize where you are in relativity to the radar. So be careful if you're using this, and it's also relatively easy to shoot down, as you can just use a normal gun, and a rocket launcher or something along those lines is not necessary. Now, for UAV, a lot of people do use Ghost, but you would also be surprised how many people don't run Ghost in Search and Destroy. And for me, getting a 4 kill streak is not that difficult. I'm very good at Search and Destroy, and I don't talk highly of myself at many things, but Search and Destroy is something that I'm very confident in. That's why I run the 4, 5, and 8 kill streaks. So maybe if you're not comfortable with getting 8 kills, throwing that 3 kill streak personal radar is definitely a choice. Or throwing on a 7 kill streak, but personally I don't really like any of these 7 kill streaks, as I don't find them that useful. But moving on into the cruise missile. Cruise missile is definitely easily 100% my favorite kill streak out of any of these, just because while using the cruise missile, you can also call out every location of every enemy that you see. Take your time while deploying the cruise missile, call out those enemies to your teammates, and then you can easily pick one off. This is almost a guaranteed kill every single time you use it. So as it's coming down, you can target that sniper head glitching in the back, the camper in the building if you can manage to get in a doorway or a window if they've just been there every single round, or it can come in clutch by killing somebody trying to defuse or plant the bomb if you're outnumbered. So if you have a cruise missile up and you're the last alive and the bomb's down, you can run away, pop that cruise missile, and kill any enemies trying to defuse, and that buys you some time, enough time to hopefully hold off the timer and win that round. Other good choices obviously are going to be Precision Airstrike and Cluster Strike. You can drop these on the bomb you just planted, a bomb that they're trying to defuse, or a bomb that the enemy team is rushing. So this definitely holds off the bomb site for quite a good period of time, but does not give you the ability to call out every single enemy location. And if you're only targeting one person, it is very hit or miss whether you're actually going to get that kill or not. As for the VTOL jet, this is probably the strongest kill streak within reason on Search and Destroy. Obviously, any of the ones above this are very powerful, but the VTOL jet is extremely loud, and that's probably the biggest perk of it. So the VTOL flying around forces people indoors and then causes an atrocious amount of noise, and it's just ridiculous how loud this is. If you haven't played with this on Search and Destroy, give it a shot and pay attention to how you cannot hear anything at all. So if you're using this, you can pop your dead silence and pretty much do whatever you want, because nobody's going to expect or know where you're coming from for that matter. And now moving into loadouts specifically. Now obviously my favorite MP5 class setup is going to have the MP5 submachine gun. But for the secondary across the board is going to be a combat knife. And the reason for using the combat knife is because you can pull it out off spawn and double sprint with it, getting the fastest movement speed possible. So I definitely use the combat knife anytime I go to rush plant or anytime I try to push up and grab a position I like to hold, waiting for the attackers or defenders to cross my line of sight. Another choice I use across the board is going to be the lethal Semtex grenade. And the reason I choose the Semtex grenade over all of the other lethals is because claymores, I feel like they're cheap. C4 takes too long to use in my opinion. Frag grenades can bounce around sporadically, and Molotovs and thermites are too hit or miss whether you're actually going to get a kill or not. The throwing knife is very precise, and I miss way too often with those. And proximity mine also feels like a claymore, and it's kind of cheap to use in search and destroy. If you use those, nothing against you, but I prefer the Semtex in just about every way, shape, and form. The Semtex, again, does not bounce around sporadically, so you can throw this in a room, know that it's going to stay in the room. If you stick an enemy, it's a guaranteed kill for the most part. And then it's also good against riot shielders, and there's a lot of riot shielders running around in search and destroy, so you can definitely use this to your advantage. It's also great for spawn nading certain areas or throwing it at vehicles and cars in order to get the kills that you want. So let's go ahead and jump into the MP5 weapon attachment specifically, and the first one on our list is going to be under muzzle, and that attachment is the monolithic suppressor. And the reason why we're choosing this over all other muzzle brakes is because it has increased damage range, allowing your bullets to deal their fullest amount of damage over further distances. Normally, bullets would significantly deal less damage the further they fly, but this helps counteract that, especially with submachine guns. The other pros, since it is a silencer, is going to be that sound suppression, allowing us not to be heard as easily, but since the red dots do not appear on the minimap, it is not that big of a deal. If they ever do implement that, then that will be a huge perk for this weapon setup. The two cons will be aim down sight speed, and we will make up for that elsewhere. Our other con is going to be aim walking steadiness, which is very particular, as in when you're aiming and walking, it's going to make you sway a little bit more than usual, so that's almost not noticeable whatsoever. Our second attachment is going to be barrel, and that's going to be the FSS Mini. For the FSS Mini barrel, it increases aim down sight speed and movement speed, which is a huge deal. So the ADS speed is going to cancel out the cons from other attachments, and the other pro movement speed will also cancel out other mobility hindering cons from other attachments, but this is probably the only attachment in the game that I know of off the top of my head that increases movement speed. So anytime the MP5 is equipped, you will naturally just move faster overall. The two cons of this is bullet velocity and recoil control, but they're not that noticeable. For the stock, we choose the Forged Tac Ultralight, and this increases aim walking movement speed, so you will move faster while aiming, which is great perk to have with any submachine gun. The con is going to be aiming stability, and that's just the sway of the weapon while you're aimed down sights, and is not that big of a deal. For the rear grip, this is probably the most common attachment across any weapon in Call of Duty, especially for submachine guns, and that's the stippled grip tape. And the reason why this attachment is so popular is because it increases aim down sight speed and sprint to fire speed. So you will aim down your sights faster, allowing you to engage in battles quicker and get that first bullet off before your opponent. The sprint to fire speed is going to allow you to shoot faster after sprinting. So that is a huge perk for any submachine gun and pretty much any gun in the game. The con is going to be aiming stability, so that's just the sway of the weapon while you're aimed down your sights. For the underbarrel, we're going with the tactical foregrip. And the con on this is not as big of a deal as you think, and that's going to be hindering your movement speed. And honestly, I believe your movement speed is faster since we're using the barrel that increases movement speed. It doesn't completely cancel out that pro with this con. The pro of this is going to be aiming stability, increasing or decreasing the weapon sway while aiming down sights. So that one pro pretty much cancels out all of the cons that decrease aiming stability. And that will wrap up the video for today. I want to thank you for stopping by. Please click that subscribe button. It really does help me out quite a bit, and it'll help me help you by putting out more quality content. And if you did like the video, you can also click that thumbs up button. If you did not like the video, you're more than welcome to click the thumbs down as well. And as always, let me know what you think below in the comment section. I want to hear your thoughts and opinions on all of this. And if you want to know right when my videos go live, you're more than welcome to click the bell icon to get notified when they do right away. And just a heads up for all of my followers, subscribers, and my loyal viewers across all of my social media channels, I will be rolling out my YouTube membership very soon, so keep an eye out for that join button on my YouTube channel. This is going to include exclusive giveaways, extra entries for those giveaways, exclusive playtime for some of the tiers with me on any game that you want, and other various rewards. I'm also open to suggestions and ideas from all of you still sticking around this video long enough to hear me talk about this. As always, I hope you have a good evening, morning, night, afternoon, or whatever it is, wherever you are, but thank you for stopping by, and I hope to see you in my next videos.